Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Stephen Porter, and on behalf of Chief Keith Johnson and the leadership team of the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System, it is my pleasure to welcome you this evening to the 4th Annual Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System Awards Ceremony. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we've had to adjust our ceremony style, and thus you are all here without your colleagues, friends, and family to celebrate this momentous occasion in your career. Yet we are glad that we have this opportunity to thank you for your service and honor you for all the work that you have done. If you have not already done so, please don your mask, turn your communication devices to silent or off, and please remain within the social distancing guidelines. Let me begin by thanking our Board of Supervisors and County Administrator Tim Hemstreet for all of their support. Although they are unable to join us this evening due to room restrictions, we know they would be here to honor you if circumstances were different. The Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System is made up of hundreds of committed men and women, volunteer and career, sworn and civilian. And tonight we take the time to acknowledge and honor you who went above and beyond the call of duty, whether during work hours or non-work hours. You have earned recognition by demonstrating our core values of teamwork, integrity, professionalism, and service. Please join me in standing as we begin tonight's program with our long-held fire and rescue tradition, a display of bagpipes by Captain Tom Clappy, followed by the honoring of the United States of America with a presentation of colors by the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System Honor Guard, the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by our national anthem, which will be sung by Karen Hertel. Then Chaplain John Boyle of Sterling Fire will offer our invocation following these events. Please stand. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Jerry, Philip. Hey.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare above bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the heart of the brave.
Two years in a row, we've been in mask. I hope this is it. Next year, I'm hoping this room will be full, or wherever we're at, we'll be fellowshipping right next to each other. That's what we've been praying for, and that's what I hope to see next year. What's amazing is we haven't stopped serving. Through this pandemic, through the thick and thin, we haven't stopped. The services have been continue to be provided to the families of Loudoun County. When I look at this brochure, the hours are quite amazing. The years of service, the incidents that we've been on, we've never stopped. We should be very proud of that as an organization. So when I pray tonight in my Christian faith, I recognize the wonderful diversity in this county, in all the families that we serve. So although you might not be a Christian, you might have a different belief system, pray in your own faith system. Because ultimately I'm asking God to bless this organization, bless this ceremony. So with your heads bowed and your eyes closed, I'll lead us in prayer. Father God, thank you for tonight. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to recognize our system members with these awards. Lord, that just tell us that we continue to do your work to help others. And we never stop, we never waver, we get the job done. But when we look at those hours that have been put in by our members, Lord, we know that they could not do that without the unbelievable support of their families. Lord, and I know most of those families are at home watching online. So they should be giving themselves a pat on the back right now, because we could not do this without them. So Lord, we ask for your hand of blessing on our system members, all their families, and on this award ceremony tonight. Thank you, and it's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, and please be seated. We'd like to thank our leadership for joining us this evening. Allow me to introduce the chief officers and command staff of the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System. System Chief Keith Johnson, Assistant Chief of Operations James Williams, Assistant Chief of Volunteer Services and Support Administration John Cosson, Operational Medical Director Dr. John Morgan, Deputy Chief of EMS Micah Kiger. Representing the System Executive Committee this evening, is Emergency Medical Services Operation Chair and Rescue Chief of Sterling Rescue, Chief Kathleen Harrisek. Representing Fire Operations Committee is the Chair and Purcellville Fire Chief, Scott Maple. Senior staff also joining us this evening include our Public Information Officer, Laura Reinhardt. I'd like to invite System Chief Keith Johnson to welcome you and share a few words.
Thank you, Stephen, and thank you for always agreeing to do such a good job for us here. You found a new job certainly several years ago, and we thank you for that. It is great to be here tonight and welcome all of you. I need to apologize a little bit. I'm a little double duty, double parked tonight. There's actually a Board of Supervisors final budget meeting tonight, which I'm kind of on the back room and here tonight, which is pretty important for us. They had the nerve to schedule that during our system-wide awards meeting. So we'll make it all work. But welcome to all of you. It is so good to see all of you, and I'm so proud to stand here before you tonight. Couple of things about the awards and the awards committee. We started this awards work group back in 2015, actually May 11th of 2015. Really before that time, we had individual company awards, LCFR had awards, but really had no organized structure like we do today. So the executive committee on June 30th, 2015 approved the formation of the system-wide awards committee and what we do here tonight. Our system-wide procedure that put this all in writing was done in May of 2016 through the hard work of many people coming together to put this in writing. And it was implemented starting on January 1st of 2017. And as you can read in your brochure, again, our attempt was to recognize people or system members and citizens that distinguish themselves in the performance of duties and contribute to the achievements of our Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System. So again, this was put together by the membership, and all those came together to make this work. On the inside your front cover of your brochure, you'll see the names of the system-wide awards committee. And I just can't say how much that these folks, how much work that they put into this all year round. The submissions that are put forward, how they review them, things like this don't come together overnight. So the awards committee, again, led by Assistant Chief Williams, and really the glue that holds everything together is our admin assistant, Sherry Phillips, and all the work on the committee members do. They deserve a round of applause. So as we sit here tonight, we'll acknowledge many of our award categories. We have 18 various achievement awards. We recognize our specialty services throughout the year, such as ALS, Hazmat, Honor Guard, Swift Water, to name a few. We recognize Chief Fire Officer, EMS officers, training officers, our Officer Development School candidates, and so on. We obviously support our Valor Award program, which is separate and apart from this, but obviously has a hand in working together with this. And then you'll see tonight our Length of Service Awards, which are actually supplied by the volunteer corporations that supply the names of those Length of Service Awards. Tonight, we have 16 personnel receiving Length of Service Awards with over 510 years of experience combined for those 16 members. So I'm sure that we have to get a few of them back to the home tonight, and I'm looking at, I'm not sorry, Mr. Colby, I'm not looking at you. But we have to probably get a few back, but it is great. It's unbelievable how much service that they supply. And it's great. These are the people that started these volunteer companies, these corporations, Loudoun County Fire and Rescue, and now we're the system that we are since 2015. But it's just amazing. I love interacting with the people that started and got us where we are today. Most of you, maybe some of you know that this past February, I had a pretty proud moment in my career when I became president of the Virginia Fire Chiefs Association. That started in February, and I'll remain president for the rest of the year. Certainly a big accomplishment, mine, going up to the ranks of that organization. But what it allows me to do is get around the state and see many volunteer and career fire departments, combined systems throughout the country. And I've said this all along, but I can honestly say it much better, that this is the best combination fire and rescue system in Virginia, and more importantly, I think, in the United States. We have a lot to be proud of. So with that, I think Chaplain Boyle mentioned it's been a hell of a year, folks. And here we are in Mass for the second year, but we're getting out of it. I'm happy to report that as of today, we have one person in our system, which is almost 2,000 members, that's COVID positive or in quarantine. And that's not what our numbers have been, folks. We have been astronomical, just like everybody else, with many, many positive, some on ventilators, some quarantined for 2 weeks at a time. And I predict probably in the coming days, we are going to be back down to 0 positive and 0 in quarantine. So we all deserve a round of applause for that, for one, keeping ourselves safe, but certainly our EMS division, all of us working together to keep each other safe. And if there's any proof of the pudding that vaccinations work, this is it, because we have seen an astronomical decline in the amount of positive and quarantined folks from all of our fire and rescue people and system members getting vaccinated that want to get vaccinated. So if you haven't, please consider it. Please share that with your system members that may have be on the fence about that, because I can tell you it absolutely works. So thank you for all that you do. I look forward to the recognition that we hear from all of our great executive committee and senior staff members tonight. And again, just a big thank you for what you do. Thank you.
For our esteemed award recipients, please follow the program and proceed to the right of the podium and wait to be called for your award. The first awards presented are for our esteemed system members that have been with us for 25 years or more. The Length of Service Awards and Recruitment and Retention Award will be presented by Assistant Chief of Support Services and Volunteer Administration, John Cosson. Chief Cosson, please come forward.
Good evening, everybody. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to present and recognize on behalf of the Executive Committee and the leadership of the Combined Fire and Rescue System. So we're going to start off with the Length of Service Awards that have been something that traditionally has been presented at the individual department level. However, Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System would like to acknowledge those who have had long-standing service. As the chief reference, it's these men and women whose shoulders we have ridden to get to where we are as a system. Presented to a system member who has completed 25 years or more of the continuous service as a member of the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System. This award is presented every quinquennial anniversary, also known as every 5 years. My understanding is that was a Matt Tobia term. So anyway, every 5 years, I had to give that shot out. So every 5 years, every 5th year anniversary after 25 years and above. So will the following people please come forward to receive your award as I announce your name? From Loudoun County Volunteer Rescue Squad, Michael Latanzio, 25 years. Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad, Jen Ferguson, 25 years. Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad, Wilma Grant, 25 years. Want a picture, Wilma? You want a picture? It's free. It won't cost you anything. Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad, James Heenan, 25 years. Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad, Kathleen Leary, 25 years. Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad, Richard McCready, 25 years. Was James Burke able to make it tonight? Okay. James Burke, Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad, couldn't be with us tonight. He's celebrating 30 years. Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad, Don Frudenthal, 30 years. Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad, Missy Ortley, 30 years. Okay, the following members from Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad could not be with us tonight, but we will announce their names. Charles Grant, 35 years. James Grant Sr., 35 years. Stephen Grant, 35 years. And Byron Andrews, 40 years. Also from Hamilton Volunteer Rescue Squad, she could not be with us, Linda Georgianis, 40 years. From Hamilton Volunteer Rescue Squad, Rodney Crone Jr., 40 years. Okay, and last but certainly not least, from Percival Volunteer Fire Company, Alan Colby, 45 years. You started when you were 5, right? Congratulations, and thanks again for all those years of service. Next, it's my distinct honor and privilege again to welcome Karen McQuaid up here to join us to receive the Recruitment and Retention Award. So Karen, I have the great honor to work with her. She's part of my team, and I'm very proud to see her recognized tonight. The Recruitment and Retention Award is sponsored by the Loudoun County Recruitment and Retention Committee. It recognizes a member of the system who has demonstrated leadership at multi-agencies or countywide levels and whose impact greatly influenced newer members of the system. While there are many dedicated people within the system that are passionate about volunteer recruitment and retention, there are a few that measure up to Karen McQuaid. Karen's leadership as a volunteer program manager is an asset that bolsters the strength of the volunteer component of our combined system. Karen is a compelling advocate and constant source of support for our volunteers throughout the county. Karen's fingerprints are on every aspect of volunteer recruitment and retention, from the time a prospective volunteer submits an interest form to the time they volunteer with Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System and beyond. Karen ensures the smooth and efficient onboarding process for new volunteers to include the orientation program. Karen helps system volunteers understand and utilize the benefits available to them. She is a mentor to many of the R&R company representatives throughout the county, and she reaches out to family members during difficult times to help them understand the benefits that they're entitled to as system members. Karen also has been a leader as part of the Virginia R&R Network. The network meetings provide an opportunity for presentations and training where network members can share information and ideas to positively impact staffing for their organizations and agencies through stronger recruitment and retention programs. The Virginia R&R Network is a tremendous resource for professional development for the R&R representatives from the volunteer companies within Loudoun County and statewide. Karen McQuaid is a shining example of a countywide leader whose impact greatly influences not only newer members, but all members of the system across multi-agencies. Karen is being recognized as the system's Recruitment and Retention Award recipient. Congratulations, Karen. Okay, next will be the presentation of the Clark J. Diener Award, Leo Kelly ALS Instructor of the Year Award, and Robert Hap Arnold BLS Instructor of the Year Award, which will be presented by our Emergency Medical Services Operations Committee Chair, Chief Kathy Harasak.
Thank you, Chief Cosmo. Will Jamie Cooper, Michelle Sargent, and Jared Pretty please come up front? Past recipients and the Emergency Medical Services Operations Committee have nominated Jamie Cooper as the recipient of the Clark J. Diener Award. Jamie. The Clark J. Diener Award recognizes an EMS member for their significant contribution to the development of the EMS system in Loudoun County. Jamie Cooper began his experience in EMS as a volunteer with the Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad in 1995 and transitioned to a career firefighter-paramedic for Loudoun County Fire and Rescue on October 26th in 2000. For over 20 years, Jamie has successfully progressed through the ranks of paramedic to battalion chief. He has demonstrated success in multiple divisions within the department, to include operations, EMS training, and the EMS division, where he currently supports the role as EMS battalion chief. Not long after transitioning to the EMS division, Jamie also assumed the role as acting deputy chief, where he successfully managed multiple responsibilities without the support of an acting battalion chief. As EMS battalion chief, Jamie is a leader who consistently drives the organization toward improvement while ensuring excellence in the delivery of medical care to the community. Most recently, Jamie has played a pivotal role as a designated infection control officer during the COVID-19 pandemic. Rising to the challenge of maintaining excellence in the delivery of medical services during a pandemic, that's a new category, isn't it? Jamie acted quickly to procure high-quality personal protective equipment and established a strong communication workflow to help protect the health, wellness, and safety of all system providers. As vaccinations became available, Jamie was also instrumental in the vaccination rollout to our own providers and helped to champion the effort to our own system providers to become vaccinators. Through excellence in communication and overall managerial skills, Jamie continues to build strong community partnerships. His results-oriented leadership has had a very positive impact on the organization's advancement and ultimately the excellence in delivery of medical services to our community. Jamie, we thank you for your commitment to the system and your commitment to the development of the EMS program in the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System. Instructor Michelle Sargent was nominated by the Emergency Medical Services Operations Committee with input from the LCFR Training Division as the recipient of this year's Leo C. Kelly ALS Instructor Award. The Leo C. Kelly ALS Instructor Award recognizes an ALS instructor for their dedication and commitment to EMS training, including contributions to the training process and programs. As one of the elite cadre of ALS instructors in the Advanced Placement Paramedic Program, Michelle Sargent has consistently displayed commitment to our students through her availability, which leads to continuity of education, comprehension of key concepts, and student satisfaction. Michelle is a paramedic who has dedicated herself to high-quality patient care and to assisting student paramedics with the training needed to equip them with the experience to handle the rigors of becoming paramedics. This is evident in her successful preceptorship of students who have completed the class. Her unwavering dedication to paramedicine is evident through her desire to increase her knowledge base and her skill set. Michelle views instructing in the classroom setting as a form of self-improvement, as well as a way to exponentially impact Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System as a whole. Michelle has instructed in both the career and volunteer classes, and even though she has a considerable drive to come to the training academy for a short 3.5-hour shift, she has commented that it is worth it every time in order to help train future paramedics. Michelle's commitment to being a positive role model has made her highly qualified to receive the Leo C. Kelly ALS Instructor Award. Instructor Jared Priddy was nominated by the Emergency Medical Services Operations Committee with input from the LCFR Training Division as the recipient of this year's Robert W. Hap Arnold BLS Instructor Award. The Robert W. Hap Arnold BLS Instructor Award recognizes a BLS instructor for their dedication and commitment in EMS training, including contributions to the training process and programs. Jared Priddy is one of the part-time instructors at the Training Academy, assisting with several EMT classes, and he has been an EMS provider for over 20 years. Jared is a Virginia Education Coordinator and serves as the chief of his volunteer company in Winchester, Virginia. And although Jared has a very busy life, he still takes time to help with classes at the Academy. Jared brings a wealth of knowledge into the classroom from his field experience, as well as his experience as an educator with the Lord Fairfax Community College. Jared takes time with students to ensure that they can perform skills or treatment, and he also makes certain that they understand the underlying reasons for making these decisions. Students have specifically requested Jared for skill stations or to help them with a research project. This speaks volumes about his ability and his desire for teaching. Jared is a passionate teacher and is certainly deserving of this recognition. So Jared, we thank you for all that you do to enhance the learning experience of the students you invest in, and we are pleased to award you with the Robert W. Hap Arnold BLS Instructor Award. The Emergency Medical Services Operations Committee and the Fire Operations Committee have the honor of inducting candidates into the Hall of Fame. Will Karen Daly, Michael Gamble, Al Pacifico, and Tracy Sennett please make your way forward. The Hall of Fame Award recognizes system members for fire, EMS, or direct contributors for outstanding achievement for their many years of service and outstanding contributions, furthering the advancement of the fire and EMS service through activities contributing to Loudoun County as a whole. Karen Daly is our first inductee. Karen Daly has been a member of the Loudoun County Combined Fire Rescue System for 25 years, ever since she was 10. After serving in Fairfax County at 2 different volunteer companies, one as a fire chief, Karen moved to Lovettsville in 1996, where she began volunteering with Lovettsville Volunteer Fire and Rescue as a paramedic. During her time in Lovettsville, Karen served as rescue chief, instructor at the Training Academy, as well as the ALS Region A coordinator. In 2005, Karen was awarded the Clark Diener Award for her contributions to the system. Karen took a brief break from her job as a rescue chief in order to obtain her master's degree in leadership through the Georgetown University Executive Program. After obtaining her degree, Karen stepped back into the role of rescue chief and then moved from rescue chief to president. Karen served as president from 2016 until 2020, and she has spent an insurmountable amount of time as a mentor and preceptor to both BLS and ALS candidates. Karen currently serves on the board of directors and is continuing to run as a paramedic. Throughout the years, Karen has been a large contributor to the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System, and it is only appropriate that she be welcomed into Loudoun County's Hall of Fame in recognition of her years of quality service and her commitment to the Loudoun County community and to the members of the Loudoun County Combined Fire Rescue System. Karen, thank you and congratulations. Michael Gamble is our next Hall of Fame inductee. Mike Gamble has been with the Loudoun County Combined Fire Rescue System for 36 years and is a life member of Sterling Rescue. Mike has been an ALS provider, mentor, preceptor, chaplain, former chief, and president. Mike also served as one of the original volunteer EMS battalion chiefs, as well as an instructor at the Training Academy prior to our system becoming a combined system. While Mike is not actively running as a Loudoun County Combined Fire Rescue System provider within our system, he continues to serve in a medical capacity as an RN at Inova Lansdowne. His Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad ALS number has been fittingly retired, CT 1504. Yet he continues to show interest in Sterling Rescue and its members. Mike was awarded the Northern Virginia EMS Council Award for Outstanding Pre-Hospital Provider in 2007. He has earned the BLS Instructor of the Year Award in 2001, the Clark J. Diener Award in 2002, and the ALS Instructor of the Year Award in 2005. Mike's significant contribution to Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad, the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System, and to the communities surrounding him has given us the honor to induct him into the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Mike, for your many contributions to our system. Al Pacifico is also a Hall of Fame inductee. Alfred Pacifico, Al, as we all know him, has been among the ranks of Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System for over 27 years. Al joined Sterling Volunteer Fire Company in June of 1993, held operational leadership positions in the organization, achieved life membership, and is currently a Silver Life member. And while many people in a similar situation would have chosen to take a break after achieving such status, Al opted for the road less traveled and joined the Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad in April of 2013. Al's personal, academic, and clinical achievement as a physician's assistant has resulted in significant contributions at the company and system level over the past several years. Al's system achievements are marked by the wearing of several hats and helmets, each of which was worn with pride. Most recently, he is recognized as the previous chief of Sterling Rescue, and in this capacity was elected to serve as the chair of the EMSOC and a member of the Medical Direction Committee, a position that he continues to serve in today. Al's passion for emergency medicine and enhancing the skill of providers and ultimately the system is seen in his dedication to teaching, precepting, mentoring, guiding, and facilitating learning in all environments. In terms of quality EMS delivery and service, there is no task too small for Al. Al enjoys sharing his knowledge and insights during ALS roundtable discussions, and he's ready and willing to provide direction to new BLS providers as well as seasoned ALS providers. In addition to his role as a preceptor, mentor, and part-time instructor for the system, Al is currently an operational captain in the training division of Sterling Rescue. In this capacity, Al has brought quality and oversight to the company's QA/QI process and has taken on the personal quest of ensuring that all of Sterling Rescue's patient reports are validated at 100%. This is not a task for the weary. Al's personal sense of pride shows through on every task. In 2017, Al was the esteemed recipient of the Leo C. Kelly ALS Instructor of the Year Award. And since 2010, Al has served on the Task Force 1 Urban Search and Rescue Team with multiple deployments to major disasters around the nation and worldwide. For his significant contributions to our fire and rescue companies, his dedicated service to our system and our community, resulting in significant benefits to Loudoun County, he is being duly recognized and inducted into the Hall of Fame. And thank you, Al, for your many years of dedication and service. Tracy Sennett has also been chosen by the EMSOC to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Tracy Sennett has been a member of the Lovettsville Volunteer Fire and Rescue since April 1995. During her tenure at Station 612, Tracy has served as secretary for 2 years and president for 3 years. As president, Tracy moved the company's financial records from paper ledger to a computer-based system, and she researched current and projected demographics for Lovettsville's first due and the impact it had on staffing at Station 612. One of her most difficult tasks was presenting this information to the Loudoun County Fire and Rescue Commission and requesting 512 career staffing. Tracy and the other officers worked diligently to successfully integrate the volunteer and career staff. Tracy has served as a rescue engineer, lieutenant, captain, and ultimately rescue chief for 2 years. She was heavily involved in developing in-station training and taught at several neighboring volunteer stations, which helped ensure that members obtained and kept current their CPR, AED, King Airway, and EMS certification. As rescue chief, Tracy ensured that Lovettsville became a designated MSAT site authorized by the Virginia Office of Emergency Medical Services to issue CEU credit for live satellite classes. In 2011, Tracy transitioned to Percival Volunteer Rescue Squad and began working to enhance in-station training. As captain of Train 13, she improved the existing EMT precepting program and helped numerous volunteers move from aide to precepting EMT to attendant in charge. Tracy became a Virginia State Evaluator in 1997 and assisted with the EMT programs at the Training Academy, which led to becoming a part-time instructor in 2002. Tracy has spent over 17 years teaching skills to initial EMT students. When Tracy obtained her education coordinator certification from Virginia OEMS in 2019, she accepted the position of EMS training officer with Loudoun County Fire Rescue. Tracy continues her position as a training officer with the LCCFRS and has worked brilliantly to enhance the system and is very deserving of the honor of becoming a member of the LCCFRS Hall of Fame. For our next award, I would like to introduce the Fire Operations Committee Chair and Fire Chief of Percival Rescue, Scott Maple. And Chief Maple will present our other Hall of Fame inductees and the Fire Instructor Award and the John C. Carr Jr. Awards.
All right, thank you. I'd like to ask Peter West to join me up front. Wayne Wetzel is also a Hall of Fame inductee, but he is unable to be with us this evening. Peter West has served and continues to serve Philemont Volunteer Fire Department for over 25 years. Joining Philemont membership in July 1995, Pete has served as a firefighter, lieutenant, captain, assistant chief, and fire chief. He continues to serve as a member on the board of directors and has also served as the company's representative to the Fire Chiefs and EMS Council and he was the delegate to the County Board of Supervisors Ad Hoc Committee for the Strategic Plan in 1997. Pete has served as a member in a fire rescue capacity for over 65 years. Served as fire chief of the Fair Oaks Volunteer Fire Company and Rescue Company, president of the Fairfax County Volunteer Fire Chiefs Association, and as a volunteer battalion chief in Fairfax County. Pete's service was national and international, serving as a tech-heavy rescue specialist for the Fairfax Urban Search and Rescue Team, deploying to Oklahoma City for the terrorist bombing of the federal building in 1995, and to Turkey for the 1999 earthquake. Pete has also served as a member of many other departments. Pete is best known for his dedicated and comprehensive work in the design, specification, preparation, and procurement of numerous filament apparatus to include the 2017 SMIL engine, the 2009 KME engine tanker, the brush unit, and the new EMS vehicle and the incident command vehicle. Pete also helped in the project design and build of the 250,000-gallon dry hydrant at the horse showgrounds. While Pete's longstanding dedication and service to Loudoun County and Philemont Volunteer Fire Company, he is being recognized as an inductee into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. The Fire Operations Committee also nominates personnel to receive the Fire Instructor Award. Dave Perry and Rodney Crone are the recipients of this award. Unfortunately, Dave Perry is unable to attend tonight, but I ask Rodney Crone to please join me. The Fire Instructor Award recognizes a fire instructor for their dedication and commitment in fire suppression training and includes contributions to the fire training process for all members. This award is given as a reflection of the hard work and selfless dedication that is put forth by an individual for the benefit of the students that they teach and for the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System as a whole. The instructor who has earned the distinction as Fire Instructor of the Year has been a system years and has given countless hours of time providing value to both career and volunteer members alike. Instructor Rodney Crone has filled many different roles within our system, some being firefighter EMTs, EMS preceptor, chief, or just a friend. But the one role that stands out consistently is that he's a teacher. Because of his tenure as a long-term volunteer system member, Instructor Crone has a wide spectrum of knowledge that allows him to draw from past experiences, and he freely shares those experiences with the students in his classes. He became a Loudoun County part-time instructor in 2012 and provides instruction for both EMS and fire courses. Although he assists with the basic Firefighter 1 and 2 and EMT courses, Rodney also participates in live fire training exercises, Mayday, Firefighter Down, LPG, and EVOC classes. For several years now, Instructor Crone has taken it upon himself to coordinate and execute monthly EVOC classes at the Hamilton Volunteer Rescue Squad. These courses are well managed, efficient, and provide consistent training to approximately 12 to 15 system members on a monthly basis. Instructor Crone is retired from the U.S. Marine Corps, and he instills that military professionalism and high standard of training in all of his courses. Student feedback from course evaluations provide positive comments regarding his teaching style and overall students having fun in learning. Rodney is a team player with other instructors he interacts with. He is reliable, and he is dedicated to each and every student he encounters. Because of his high level of standards and professionalism and training, the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue Instructor of the Year Award for 2020 is presented to Rodney Crone with many thanks and appreciation for his dedication and commitment to our training programs. Congratulations. The past recipients of the John C. Carr Jr. Memorial Award nominate future recipients and is sponsored by the Fire Operations Committee. I'd like to ask Peter Graham and Andrew Kelly to please come forward. This award recognizes those who have been a member of the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System for a minimum of 5 years and have displayed outstanding leadership and achievements during their service. Peter Graham serves as Fire Chief of Hamilton and is a commanding officer with Leesburg prior to the building of the Leesburg Fire Station 20. Pete brought a lot of knowledge and skills to Loudoun County Fire and Rescue and a paid employee of Fairfax County Fire and Rescue. Pete was an avid provider of training to the system during his tenure, especially in the Western Loudoun companies. Pete spent many hours right beside John C. Carr Jr. during his final days here on Earth, both day and nights, keeping John's spirits high and morale up until the end, supporting him and his family. Pete Graham was and continues to be very supportive to that man, and this is a name and that the award was named after. Pete has been instrumental in delivering many of John's training tactics as well as ladder truck layouts within the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System. Pete Graham exemplifies what the John C. Carr Jr. Memorial Award stands for and is a worthy recipient. Congratulations, Pete. Job well done. Andy Kelly began his service to Loudoun County as a volunteer with a Round Hill Volunteer Fire Company in the early 1970s. As the population of Loudoun County grew, Andy was among the first career firefighters hired by Loudoun County Fire and Rescue. They called that the Dirty Dozen back then, didn't they? His commitment to excellence and teamwork among his coworkers, both career and volunteer, was one of the best attributes. On October 2nd, 2020, units were dispatched to a vehicle accident at the John Mosby Highway and Lanall Mill Boulevard with one vehicle submerged in a pond. Units arrived, excuse me one second. Sorry, pages got mixed up. Andy was promoted to captain and was assigned to the Ashburn Fire Station in the late 1990s at a time of exceptional growth. One of Andy's strongest suits was his ability to work with career and volunteer personnel and develop cohesive teams. And he was promoted to battalion chief and was truly one of the most beloved battalion officers in Loudoun County, respected by both career and volunteer personnel alike. One of Andy's most valuable contributions to the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System was the development and implementation of trainings that integrated volunteer and career system members. Andy has a caring and nurturing approach to his managing personnel and developing teamwork among career and volunteer staff. He is among the best officers Loudoun County has had and the privilege of working for us. For these and many other reasons, Andy Kelly exemplifies what the John C. Carr Jr. Memorial Award stands for. Congratulations, Andy, on a job well done. Assistant Chief of Operations James Williams, will you please present the Phoenix Life-Saving Materials Award, Firefighter Officer of the Year Awards at this time, please.
Good evening. I would like to ask Nisa Clavelli, Mark Klepping, and Isra Abbas to please make your way forward. The Phoenix Award is presented to a civilian for heroic actions. The performance must be of a level to merit recognition for service that is clearly exceptional or which results in the saving of a life. Nisa and Mark, please join me. On October 2nd, 2020, units were dispatched to a vehicle accident at John Mosby Highway and Lena Mill Boulevard with one vehicle submerged in a pond. Units arrived on the scene with a total of 4 vehicles involved with one totally submerged in the water. The driver, who is a paraplegic, had been pulled to safety by 2 citizens, Ms. Nisa Clavelli and Mark Klepping. Nisa was driving on Route 50 when she witnessed a truck pulling a trailer go into a pond. Ms. Clavelli stopped her car and jumped into the pond to the victim's aid. Mark Klepping was walking his dog on a path when he heard the accident and he ran towards Route 50 and noticed several vehicles pulled off to the side of the road. He crossed Route 50 and witnessed people running toward the pond and noticed someone in the water attempting to break the windows of a submerged vehicle. Mark then entered the water to assist Nisa by using her hammer to break the window. They together proceeded to remove the victim from the vehicle and pull him to safety on the shore. The bravery and quick actions of Nisa Clavelli and Mark Klepping saved the life of the submerged paraplegic patient. Thank you, Nisa and Mark, for your quick action and diligence to come to the aid of this citizen. Your efforts are deserving of our esteemed Phoenix Award. Isra, will you please come forward? On November 8, 2020, a 911 call was received from a young female, Isra Abbas, calling for help for her father as she found him unconscious. Crews from Fire Station 9 responded to a BLS emergency, which was soon upgraded to a Delta level trouble breathing call. As crews arrived and entered the residence, carbon monoxide meters were alarming. As paramedic engine 609 arrived and made contact with the unconscious adult male, Lieutenant Nicholas Pearson quickly ordered his crew to attempt a rescue. Lieutenant Pearson, technician paramedic Alexander Weiss, and firefighter Eric Russell entered the structure without any PPE and effectively rescued 2 adult children and 1 adult that were influenced by the effects of the carbon monoxide. They also removed 2 additional juveniles that were able to be assisted out of the structure. While patients were being evacuated, the gas meters were readied and brought into the structure. Upon placement, carbon monoxide readings were above 1,800 parts per million with the Upon placement, carbon monoxide readings were above 1,800 parts per million. With the home clear of residents, the source of the leak was located and the residence was ventilated along with other units in the building. The bravery and composure Isra exhibited, even though she was affected by the carbon monoxide, was heroic on her part. Isra was able to provide vital information to the dispatcher, which resulted in the successful outcome of this call and saving the lives of her family. We commend you for your bravery, and we award you with this Phoenix Award. Next, I would ask that Richard Boyce, Kevin Daskalowitz, Justin Chanko, and Andrew Gideon please make your way forward. Firefighter Boyce, Firefighter Daskalowitz, please join me. The Life Saving Award recognizes members for an action within the member's scope of training and duty involving either fireground operations or emergency medical services, which directly contributes to the saving of a life. On April 12, 2020, the firefighters at Station 5 sat down at the dinner table to enjoy their evening meal. While eating his Easter dinner, one of the firefighters started choking on a piece of food. This firefighter recognized that his airway became obstructive and developed into a complete blockage. He pushed himself clear of the table, attempting to clear his airway. Fellow firefighters Kevin Daskalowitz and Richard Boyce were sitting at the table and recognized their coworker was in distress. Firefighter Daskalowitz quickly moved behind the choking firefighter and performed abdominal thrusts while firefighter Boyce assisted with back blows to clear the airway. The choking patient was able to regain his breathing and showed no further signs of distress. Due to the quick actions of firefighter Kevin Daskalowitz and firefighter Richard Boyce, they were able to assist their fellow firefighter with the choking emergency. This quick action saved their coworker from any irreversible injury, and they are being awarded a life-saving award. Thank you for practicing awareness and putting your training into practice, even at the Easter dinner table. Firefighter Chanko. On August 13, 2020, units were dispatched to respond to a water rescue in Sleater Lake Park in Round Hill. The patient was suffering from a psychiatric emergency and refused to come out of the water. Personnel donned personal flotation devices and brought equipment to the location of the victim. As personnel approached, they noticed civilians trying to keep the patient calm, but he became more agitated and began to swim further out into the water. Working with the patient's family, fire and rescue members tried to persuade the patient to swim towards the shore when he began to scream for help and stated he could not swim. At that time, Lieutenant Nicholas Krakowski and Captain Mark Galino entered the water to attempt a rescue of the distraught team. Firefighter EMT Justin Chanko entered the water near shore to assist and remained with them and the patient until the patient was persuaded to walk to the shore. For the next 2 hours, efforts were attempted to de-escalate the situation. Firefighter Chanko continued to assist in keeping the patient calm throughout the event and assisted in the physical removal. Due to the patient was sedated for transport to the hospital. Firefighter EMT Chanko entered a dangerous body of water in the dark evening hours to assist with an uncooperative patient in order to save this young man's life. For these efforts, Firefighter Chanko is awarded a life-saving award. Congratulations. Firefighter Andrew Gideon. On September 11th, 2020, units were dispatched to an auto accident on James Monroe Highway, Route 15 at Farm Lane. The incident was a two-car accident with at least one person trapped in a second vehicle fully involved in fire. Off-duty firefighter Andrew Gideon had just left his assignment at Company 10 in Luckett's and was heading home. I think you were heading to get on an airplane too. As firefighter EMT Gideon was driving by the incident, he noticed a sedan off the road, and about 150 feet past his car, he noticed the van in the trees with fire beginning to show from underneath the hood. He also noticed two citizens had walked over to the van and were trying to help. Firefighter Gideon approached the van and noticed the citizens were frantically trying to get the door open. Despite their best efforts, they were making little progress. Firefighter Gideon noticed that the cab of the van was filled with smoke and active flame was starting to encroach on the passenger compartment. Seeing the bystanders' efforts were not making progress, Firefighter Gideon utilized a different technique to open the door. With the help of the bystanders, they were able to free this patient and remove him from the immediate area of the vehicle fire. The patient was noted to be stable, so Firefighter Gideon went to the sedan. He began to evaluate the patient, who was heavily entrapped, and tried to calm the patient until help arrived. He was able to give Rescue 620 and Engine 610 a thorough report upon their arrival. Due to the severity of the patient's injuries, Firefighter Gideon offered to drive one of the medic units, despite he had to get on an airplane. This freed up an extra paramedic who was able to assist with the patient care of one of the critical patients. As Firefighter EMT Gideon began to transport one of the patients, the transport unit began to have noticeable mechanical problems. While driving, he contacted Fairfax, Arlington, and DC fire departments, emergency communication centers, to develop a plan should the ambulance break down completely. Thankfully, the transport continued successfully without additional incident. During this incident, firefighter EMT Gideon rose to the challenge and took charge of a chaotic situation. Without regard to his own safety and no personal protective equipment, firefighter EMT Gideon had a positive impact on the outcome of this incident, specifically the patient that was transported to DC. For the incredible bravery, ingenuity, and leadership firefighter Gideon showed, along with the life-saving efforts he made during this incident, we are proud to award him a life-saving award. We now move on to the Meritorious Service Awards. I would ask that Captain Mark Galino, Lieutenant Nicholas Krakowski, Lieutenant Nicholas Pearson, firefighter EMT Eric Russell, Technician Alexander Weiss, and firefighter EMT Douglas Sills please make your way forward towards the front. The Meritorious Service Award recognizes system members for conspicuous gallantry and bravery at the risk of life, above and beyond the call of duty, in action involving either fireground operations or emergency medical service, or under extreme emergency circumstances that directly resulted in the saving of a human life. Captain Mark Galino and Lieutenant Nicholas Krakowski. Together. On August 13th, 2020, units were dispatched to respond to a water rescue in Sleater Lake Park in Round Hill. The patient was suffering from a psychiatric emergency and refused to come out of the water. Personnel donned personal flotation devices and brought equipment to the location of the victim. As personnel approached, they noticed civilians trying to keep the patient calm, but he became more agitated and began to swim further out into the water. Working with the patient's family, fire and rescue members tried to persuade the patient to swim towards the shore when he began to scream for help and stated he could not swim. At that time, Lieutenant Nicholas Krakowski and Captain Mark Galino entered the water to attempt the rescue of the distraught teen. Lieutenant Krakowski reached the patient first, and Captain Galino guided him to shallow water. For the next 2 hours, Captain Galino and Lieutenant Krakowski, along with other responders, attempted to de-escalate the situation and tried to persuade the patient to walk to shore. The patient was finally removed from the water with difficulty as he was sedated with medication for transport to the hospital. Lieutenant Krakowski and Captain Galino entered a dangerous body of water in the dark evening hours to assist an uncooperative patient. For their bravery at the risk of their lives, for going above and beyond the call of duty to save this young man's life, they are awarded the Meritorious Service Award. Congratulations. Lieutenant Pearson, Technician Weiss, and Firefighter EMT Russell, please step forward. On November 8, 2020, crews from Fire Station 9 responded to a BLS emergency, which was soon upgraded to a Delta-level trouble breathing incident. As crews arrived and entered the residence, carbon monoxide meters started to alarm. As paramedic engine 609 arrived and made contact with the unconscious adult male, Lieutenant Nicholas Pearson quickly ordered his crew to attempt a rescue of all residents. Lieutenant Pearson, Technician Paramedic Alexander Weiss, and Firefighter EMT Eric Russell entered the structure without any PPE and effectively rescued 2 adult children and 1 adult. They also removed 2 additional juveniles that were able to be assisted out of the structure. While patients were being evacuated, the gas meters were readied and brought into the structure. Upon placement, carbon monoxide readings were well above 1,800 parts per million. It was requested that the assignment be upgraded to a full box assignment with the addition of 2 additional medic units and the hazmat unit. Responders outfitted in structural fire PPE and SCBA made entry to the structure to conduct primary search to check for additional patients. With the home clear of residents, the source causing the accumulation of carbon monoxide was found and the residence was ventilated along with other units in the building. Lieutenant Nicholas Pearson, Technician Paramedic Alexander Weiss, and Firefighter EMT Eric Russell entered the home, were not aware of the CO readings, and safely removed all of the residents of the home at the risk of their own life. This crew is being awarded a Meritorious Service Award for their brave efforts to remove a family to safety. Congratulations. Firefighter EMT Douglas Sills, please join me. On February 16, 2020, crews from Fire Station 27 and Kirkpatrick Farms arrived on the scene to a patient that had ingested caustic substances. The patient was found sitting on the bathroom floor with empty bottles of bathroom cleaners near him. After much effort, the patient was convinced to receive medical help and be transported to a hospital. As he stood and walked towards the stairs, the patient noticed that an LCSO deputy was present, and the patient suddenly lunged toward the deputy, trying to remove his gun. A second deputy attempted to gain control of the patient without success. At that time, all fire and rescue personnel backed up into separate rooms for safe cover. Firefighter EMT Douglas Sills fled to a bedroom. During the struggle, the patient and 2 deputies fell towards the door of Firefighter Sills and continued attempting to reach for the deputy's gun. Firefighter Sills, in an attempt to prevent the patient from gaining further possession of the gun, grabbed the patient's wrist and assisted pulling him to the floor. Firefighter Sills maintained control of the patient's wrist and immobilized the patient's head with his other hand until one of the deputies was able to handcuff the patient. The patient was finally subdued and brought safely down the stairs for transport. The heroic and selfless actions of firefighter Sills not only kept fire and rescue personnel and deputies safe, but also the patient. For firefighter Sills' bravery in going above and beyond the call of duty, his quick thinking and action, he is being awarded a Meritorious Service Award. Congratulations. Technician Cody Eisenagel, Technician Cyrus Tang, please make your way to the front to receive your respective Firefighter of the Year awards. This award honors a uniformed member of the system who exemplifies outstanding performance in the day-to-day performance of their duties and their outstanding service and dedication, which are keeping with the highest traditions of the fire and rescue system. Technician Cody Eisenagel, please join me. Cody Eisenagel has been employed with Loudoun County since 2008, striving each day to make Loudoun County Fire and Rescue a better place at all times. As a technician on Tower 602, Cody provided consistency and leadership to a young and inexperienced crew. He fostered a solid working relationship between the career staff and volunteer leadership. He taught several firefighters how to drive and operate Tower 602. Cody exceeded every expectation you could want in a technician. Before he was assigned to the apparatus section, Cody took the lead in researching, designing, and placing in service 2 new heavy rescue squads, which included multiple trips to the manufacturer's plant in Wisconsin. He spent countless hours researching new and innovative ways to provide technical rescue, revising and standardizing the entire county's rope rescue complement during this process. He also upgraded and organized all the department's specialty rescue tools. The man versus the machine kit that he designed has already been duplicated throughout the region. While joining the apparatus section, he ensures the operations staff have safe and functional emergency apparatus to operate. Every year, Cody is the lead instructor at the LCFR Driver Operator School, making sure that our next generation of driver operators are prepared and understand all aspects of becoming an operator. Cody is continuously relied upon as an emergency vehicle operations subject matter expert amongst his peers, and most recently he has served as the logistics support for setting up the COVID-19 vaccination pod. Whether it is building volunteer and career relations or helping a fellow system member, Technician Eisenagel is always committed to making Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System a better place than he found it. Thank you, Technician Eisenagel, for your commitment to excellence and dedication within our system. It is with great pleasure I present Technician Cody Eisenagel with Career Firefighter of the Year. Congratulations. Technician Tang, please come forward. Cyrus Tang began an outstanding and selfless contributor to the Sterling Volunteer Fire Company, accruing over 1,700 duty crew hours in 2020, which is close to a second full-time job for most people and the top contributor to Sterling Volunteer Fire Company. Cyrus has helped keep engines staffed during the pandemic. In addition to running duty hours, Cyrus continued to advance his fire knowledge by completing the in-house Sterling Volunteer Fire Company truck driver class. He found time to attend several VDFB classes, including DEMECO, STECO, Officer 1, HTR 1, HTR 2, and ICS 400. I'm sure that last one was fun. Technician Tang has an outstanding attitude and is a great technician. He has no hesitations about passing knowledge to those around him and is an absolute asset to Sterling Volunteer Fire Company and assists with volunteer recruit training at the firehouse. Administratively, Cyrus is the chair of the company's LoSAP Points Committee and ensures everyone receives the maximum points allowed. He is equally regarded by his volunteer and career firefighter members. Cyrus has recently joined the System Awards and Recognition Committee in order to foster the recognition of the efforts of his fellow responders. Technician Tang exemplifies the very best Sterling has to offer. Cyrus's dedication to the citizens of Loudoun County, as well as his fellow members of the Sterling Volunteer Fire Company and Loudoun County Combined Fire Rescue System, is unsurpassed in fire operations and company support. Technician Tang, thank you for your efforts and for being an inspiration to those with whom you work. You are deserving of the Volunteer Firefighter of the Year award. Congratulations. Captain Eugene Sager and Captain Stephen Schmidt, will you please come forward to receive the Officer of the Year award? Officer of the Year award honors an officer of the system who exemplifies outstanding execution in the day-to-day performance of their duties and their outstanding service and dedication, which are keeping with the highest traditions of the fire and rescue system. Captain Sager. So just before I read this one, I think it's important to note that we received 2 submissions for Eugene's nomination. One was from the volunteer rescue chief, or the fire chief in Lovettsville, and then his career battalion chief. Eugene Sager was promoted to captain and assigned to Lovettsville in March of 2019. Captain Sager is a respectful and diligent leader, strategically navigating interactions between career staff and Lovettsville Volunteer Fire Company volunteers of all ranks. Captain Sager displays teamwork and leadership that has helped build stronger relations between the career and volunteer staff at Station 612. Captain Sager has engaged the volunteer leadership in all aspects of station management to ensure unity in the department. As a captain, he leads by example with patience and persistence, with reminders and follow-ups to all staff. Captain Sager has worked effortlessly to improve Lovettsville's apparatus maintenance program, equipment inspection and testing, facilities repair and maintenance. His leadership through the COVID-19 pandemic has been one focusing on sound practices for safety of all staff present in the station. Captain Sager's skill set goes beyond his interpersonal and management skills. Eugene serves as a fill-in safety officer and is actively involved in that program. While on a call, Captain Sager maintains good accountability and situational awareness while operating at incident scenes. He places the crew's safety as the highest priority, and he excels at keeping track of his crew every moment to ensure everyone is safe. His performance under pressure on an incident scene is composed, dependable, and consistent. Captain Sager exemplifies the qualities necessary to be recognized as the Officer of the Year. Aside from his success in station management aspects and emergency response, his ability to connect with and manage people is impeccable. Thank you, Captain Sager, for your strong leadership, which has helped create a strong and vital team in Lovettsville. I am pleased to award you the 2020 Officer of the Year Award. Congratulations. Captain Schmidt. Captain Stephen Schmidt at the Sterling Volunteer Rescue Squad has exceeded all expectations as an officer. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Steve became the voice of all information related to COVID at Sterling Rescue. All educational information, and safety procedures for protecting our members, disinfecting units, and common areas fell under his domain. Steve became the liaison for any members that were out due to exposure to COVID-19 and worked with the member, their employer, and coordinated all information necessary to ensure that the member's family was afforded appropriate coverage during the member's illness. He also coordinated with system entities to ensure appropriate benefits. Captain Schmidt tracked all members on quarantine and ensured a smooth transition of information to system officials. These efforts were accomplished in a timely and attentive manner. One of Steve's most significant contributions was the implementation of the Aeroclave to Sterling Rescue. Retention of operational members during COVID was directly related to leadership's ability to make them feel comfortable and protected in their working environment. Steve researched various decontamination systems and ensured the purchase and proper use of the Aeroclave unit. He took on the supply inventory, ensuring that items were readily available, resulting in a seamless integration of operational functions of Sterling Rescue to provide an additional layer of safety and security to its members. Steve's time commitment went above and beyond what is expected of a member. His daily commitment to his position as an operational officer and safety officer is evident to those who work closely with him. The diligence of Steve's engagement as an officer gave Sterling Rescue the ability to continue the service provided to the community without interruption during the COVID-19 pandemic. Captain Stephen Schmidt conducts himself in accordance with the Combined Fire and Rescue System and Sterling Volunteer Fire and Rescue Squad's values, which makes him a perfect recipient of the Volunteer Officer of the Year Award. Congratulations. I'd like to turn things over to our Operational Medical Director, Dr. John Morgan, to present the EMS Provider of the Year Award.
Thank you, Chief Williams. Would paramedics Michelle Sargent and Rihanna Starheim please come forward? Paramedic Sargent, please join me. The award honors an EMS provider of the system who exemplifies outstanding performance in the day-to-day execution of their duties and their outstanding service and dedication, which are in keeping with the highest traditions of the fire and rescue system. Michelle Sargent has been a dedicated employee and has devoted many years to honing her EMS skills and knowledge. She's caring and compassionate and excels at treating elderly patients who need a little bit more time and attention. Michelle strives to be an advocate for all her patients and frequently goes above and beyond to ensure that each person is treated with dignity and respect and receives the highest possible care she can provide, whether that be helping someone gather belongings that will make them more comfortable at the hospital or making a quick meal for a diabetic patient with a low blood sugar. Michelle can always be counted on to precept new EMS providers. She does so patiently and is able to adapt to all levels of learning. Michelle is frequently found at the Training Academy on her days off, assisting with paramedic school and refresher classes, as evidenced by being ALS Instructor of the Year. Michelle is reliable and steadfast. She's a pillar of our EMS system and remains calm even under the most stressful of calls and situations. For these reasons, Michelle exemplifies the true meaning of EMS Provider of the Year and is recognized for her selfless dedication to our system and to the residents of Loudoun County. Thank you, Michelle, for your dedication and service to the system and to Loudoun County's citizens. Paramedic Rihanna Starheim, will you please join me? The accomplishments of Rihanna Starheim in her first year as a volunteer at Ashburn Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department are unprecedented. Rihanna arrived with her EMT and paramedic certifications in hand on the night she attended the department's prospective member meeting in October 2019, but she had no experience using them and was looking for the opportunity to learn. Within her first few months, Rihanna successfully completed the ALS Challenge in March 2020, which allowed her to enter the precepting phase of the program. She wasted no time running her first shifts in early April. Rihanna diligently scheduled multiple shifts each week, completing the paramedic and precepting program in a little over 5 months after logging 96 evaluated calls, approximately 20 more than required. And this was all during the height of the pandemic when getting preceptors and everything was exceptionally challenging. Rihanna's preceptors, mentor, and chief released her as a locally authorized paramedic in September 2020. In what most paramedics complete in a year, Rihanna completed in 5 months during COVID-19. Rihanna had the motivation, tenacity, and commitment that allowed her to accomplish such a difficult endeavor as quickly as she did. After her release as a paramedic, Rihanna continued at a blistering pace, staffing an extra medic unit multiple shifts per week up through Thanksgiving when she finally took a short break for the holidays. Rihanna ran 343 calls in 10 months, averaging 34 calls per month during the COVID pandemic. In addition, Rihanna is very active precepting our new EMTs to become attendants in charge. And she accompanied me just last week doing vaccines in her own community, going door to door to give shots to people who could not get out of their homes. While there are many deserving EMS providers within the system, it would be difficult to exceed Rihanna's accomplishments in her first year. Rihanna's dedication and commitment are truly commendable, and for these reasons, Rihanna Starheim is awarded the EMS Provider of the Year. I would like to ask Assistant Chief of Support Services and Volunteer Administration, John Cosson, to now present the Telecommunicator of the Year and Administrative Volunteer of the Year awards. Chief Cosson. Okay, our first first responder on every call is our dispatchers and call takers, and their efforts are often life-saving. I'd like to present the Telecommunicator of the Year Award to Jessica Mulligan. Jessica, if you'll please join me in front. The Telecommunicator of the Year Award honors a telecommunicator who demonstrates outstanding performance in the day-to-day execution of their duties and their dedication to professionalism and service. Jessica Mulligan has been a critical asset to the Emergency Communications Center, Team A, since her transfer to the shift. Jessica assumed the role as the most senior person on the shift, second only to the supervisor. In this role, she has become a mentor to new dispatchers on the shift. She takes the time to go over questions people have. She dedicates herself to being a role model and a source of information for them. She has also taken on training new call takers in addition to her regular job duties as a dispatcher. Though these extensive responsibilities have been taxing, she has continued to remain positive and a role model for all on the team. Jessica has performed as a backup trainer for the shift call taker and dispatcher trainee, as well as training that is needed for the sheriff's office. Jessica's knowledge of her job, her ability to mentor is unmatched. She continues to be a valuable asset to Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System and the Communications Division. Jessica shows great diligence in her job for these reasons. Let me rephrase that. Jessica shows great diligence in her job, and for these reasons, we award Jessica Mulligan with the Telecommunicator of the Year Award. Thank you, Jessica, for your leadership and mentorship in creating a great team. Okay, the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System Administrative Volunteer of the Year Award is presented to Administrative Member Tammy Smith. Please join me, Tammy. The Administrative Volunteer of the Year Award honors a volunteer member of the system who, in the performance of administrative, non-operational duties, exemplifies outstanding performance in the execution of their duties and their outstanding service and dedication, which are keeping with the highest traditions of the fire and rescue system. Tammy Smith plays an integral role in several programs for Loudoun County Volunteer Rescue Squad. Tammy oversees the finances and ensures they are accurately maintained according to the Loudoun Rescue Financial Administrative Orders. The financial records are submitted to the county as requested, and the building is maintained for the crews. Tammy is most appreciated for her diligence, professionalism, and her determination to make sure the finances are correct and accurate. While the COVID pandemic limits her ability to be at the station, she managed to make sure the bills were paid on time and the banking records are kept up to date. When Tammy first became treasurer 3 years ago, she was tasked with ensuring that the company's finances and administrative orders were in place to meet the scrutiny of county auditors. Tammy has far surpassed this expectation. She brings a wealth of knowledge on sound financial practices from her job as a corporate auditor. This year, through her hard work, she was asked by the county budget office to help validate the station audit processes, which includes finance and budget's new process. This past year, Tammy has dedicated herself to keep the grounds and building in excellent shape. She meets with contractors to ensure the projects are finished effectively and in a timely fashion. She spearheaded the resurfacing of the parking lots, replaced a heating and AC unit along with new flooring in a meeting room, and she worked with a landscaping company to improve the landscaping around the station. Tammy Smith has demonstrated extraordinary performance in her duties at Loudoun Rescue. Tammy, we congratulate you and thank you for your outstanding service and dedication by awarding you this Administrative Volunteer of the Year Award. Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask System Chief Johnson to now present the LCFR Civilian of the Year, System Recognition, and System Chiefs Commendation Awards.
Next year, when we get families in here, we're going to hand out cowbells, whistles, and all that stuff so we can get some noise in here. It's too quiet to me. So I would like to present the Civilian of the Year to Mr. Alan Druger. Alan, will you please join me? So this award honors a civilian member of the system who exemplifies outstanding performance in the day-to-day performance of their duties and their outstanding service and dedication, which are keeping in the highest traditions of fire and rescue system. Alan joined Loudoun County government as a management fellow in 2017. Assigned to the fire and rescue during the fourth quarter of his internship, Alan immediately took advantage of a variety of opportunities to learn as much as possible about fire and rescue. He had no previous experience. In July of 2018, Alan accepted the position of budget specialist within Loudoun County Fire and Rescue. Alan quickly became a subject matter expert, continually providing sound guidance and advice to senior leadership, me, and members of the department. Alan always displayed great strength and patience, leading fire and rescue through the complexities of financial and budgetary matters, developing performance measures, shepherding grants through complicated processes. As a management fellow, Alan was tasked to revise and establish performance measures that aligned with our program activities and service delivery and serve as the foundation for the department's service plan. Through his guidance and leadership, a new list of measures has been established, which is now the foundation for the development of future resource requests. As the budget specialist, Alan ensured the fiscal health of the department and the system. Alan has provided numerous ad hoc fiscal analysis reports to assist senior leadership at staffing and reclassification requests, including an algorithm for tracing and forecasting vacancy savings. Alan played an instrumental role in the fiscal year 20 budget development process with 16 resource requests and submissions for Sterling Fire and Leesburg South capital improvement projects, all while his manager was away due to a family emergency. Alan continually seeks ways to enhance the efficiency, innovation, and strategic focus of the department and county operations, and exemplifies outstanding performance in the day-to-day performance of his duties, and his outstanding service and dedication to the system. When tasked with last-minute requests for grants and budgetary items, Alan has shown he will seek through that task. As a role model for our values of teamwork, integrity, professionalism, service, Alan has been a valuable member of this organization. Now comes the sad part. Alan has recently left Loudoun County Fire and Rescue to join the Department of Management and Budget, and to a budget staff. Our loss, their gain. To which we offer Alan congratulations and good luck. We have really big shoes to fill and in his absence, but Alan has shown that he's an exemplary employee and very deserving of the Loudoun County Fire and Rescue Civilian of the Year Award. Alan, thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for all the service you made to our system. I'm reaping the benefits of that tonight on the Board of Supervisors meeting. And if you care to join me, you're welcome to come back after the ceremony. But you are missed greatly already, and I don't know that we'll ever replace you. But again, our loss is County of Loudoun's gain, so thank you. Kimber Weiss is the recipient of the System Recognition Award. Unfortunately, Chief Weiss is unable to join us this evening, but we recognize her for her significant contributions to the system through the management of the COVID-19 vaccinations. And we thank Chief Weiss for her countless hours and dedication that he has given to the system during this past year and continues to give in 21. Kimber is a volunteer rescue chief at Company 9 and very much has helped us out this year with all of her administrative and analytical ability, and we greatly thank her for all that she has done. And now one of my biggest honors is to give out the System Chiefs Commendation Award. If I could ask Dr. John Morgan, Deputy Chief Micah Kiger, and Battalion Chief Jamie Cooper to join me for this award. The System Chief Commendation Award recognizes system members who have distinguished themselves by exceptional service in performing during a single act of merit, who have displayed critical decision-making abilities or engaged in similarly noteworthy actions that contributed to the successful outcome of an incident or project. So as we all know, in March of 2020, the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System began to experience one of the most deadly and challenging pandemics this era has ever experienced with COVID-19. The world of all of us, but especially Dr. Morgan, Deputy Chief Kiger, and Battalion Chief Cooper, changed drastically. Immediately, this group began managing the pandemic with limited previous firsthand experience and constantly changing guidance. Dr. Morgan, Chief Kiger, and Chief Cooper have managed to keep our system members safe, implementing the CDC guidelines, which is not easy, and providing proper PPE equipment and protocols. As the virus took on a life of its own, the EMS division worked tirelessly to research proper procedures, protocols, and proper equipment in order to keep our members, all of us, safe. Not only did they have to determine proper procedures and protocol, but they were also deemed with the task of securing funding sources for newly procured items. They purchased the Aeroclave disinfectant machines, anti-fog glasses, N95 masks, face shield, fully encapsulated Tyvek suits and gowns, 3M half-face respirators, and many other specialty items. Along with keeping up with the CDC directives and communicating with these ever-changing guidelines, Dr. Morgan, Chief Kiger, and Chief Cooper also remained steadfast in providing our members the proper care they needed while in quarantine or with the infected virus. Upon the national distribution of the coronavirus vaccine, the entire EMS division worked together to provide an opportunity for all system members to receive the vaccine. They involved setting up a system to track our members, organizing the distribution of the vaccination, recalling everyone for a second dose. Our system members are now able to administer the COVID vaccination, which is an unprecedented accomplishment. Dr. Morgan, Chief Kiger, and Battalion Chief Cooper have displayed critical decision-making abilities that contributed to the continued success of the Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System during this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Before I close, they really have some special traits, all three of these folks. And I'm honestly here to say that I don't think that all of our system members would be here today without the actions of these three. They didn't run into burning buildings. They didn't extricate somebody from a wrecked vehicle. But certainly their actions that they portrayed and what they continue to do today has saved lives. And a couple of examples that are not in the script, but what you need to know about what they continue to do today. So as you know, we have a mass vaccination pod at the Nordstroms down in Doylestown Center Mall. As you heard, some of our members helped set that up, and that pod has the ability to do 7,000 vaccinations a day. We just need more vaccine. We're doing about 3,000 a day right now. These folks were instrumental in setting that pod up and getting our Loudoun County Health Department and Loudoun County in general set up to be able to deliver those vaccines. On our own, we applied to the Commonwealth of Virginia to apply to become our own vaccination pod, separate and apart from the health department, separate and apart from county government. That was achieved, and we are recognized as our own pod being able to distribute vaccinations as Loudoun County Combined Fire and Rescue System under the authority of our operational medical director. If that wasn't enough, Dr. Morgan and the crew decided that there's a vulnerable population that we're not reaching. It's great if you can get in your car and drive to the pod and wait for an hour and stand in line and do all the paperwork. But what about those folks that are non-mobile, that can't leave their house, that are in wheelchairs, that are too elderly to travel, that just don't want to leave their home because they're scared? It's these three members of county government that we work with that stood up this program, and now we have a homebound vaccination program for Loudoun County, where we as system members are going out to nursing homes, to homes, one at a time, 60 at a time, wherever they may be, to deliver the vaccine at the homes and residences of the people that can't travel to the pod. These three did that whole program on their own with the support of all of us and in the general county. And that continues today. I think we've done at least 2 or 3 pods at this point, but that system is growing. And now with Johnson & Johnson coming on board with a single shot, that will consistently continue to grow. We're able to, once again, save lives. Folks, I can't say enough about these three and how many hours they have worked throughout this year. Days off, weekends, 24 hours a day. For those of you who have been in quarantine or been positive, hopefully you've got a phone call every single day. We have not lost a single person on quarantine and COVID, I promise. And that's a good thing. And if you've been positive or on quarantine, you received a phone call from the family liaisons that were stood up by these folks that check on our personnel every single day to make sure they have what they need, they're safe, and fill out the paperwork that we all have to fill out and send over to county government for the things that we do. So with that, these actions are certainly commendable, and these three being recognized with the System Chief Commendation Award. I can't thank you enough, Dr. Morgan, Deputy Chief Cogger, Battalion Chief Cooper, for your relentless efforts to sustain us during this unprecedented time. The amount of work that they put in, most all of us in this room know that Dr. Morgan is a contractor with us. He's not a full-time employee. Quite frankly, he has this little part-time job called an emergency room position that might keep him a little bit busy. So we are certainly blessed to have Dr. Morgan, especially as our operational medical director full-time. He makes all of our job easier. He makes these other two really look good, quite frankly, but just kidding. But thank you all for what you've done. We owe you all a standing round of applause, I believe.
Chaplain John Boyle, please come up and lead us in the benediction.
As I mentioned at the beginning, before I prayed, that I had glanced through this and was so impressed by the number of years, by the incidents, just by this system. But not until you hear about it in detail does it really make you understand what happened during 2020 and what all of you have brought to the table. It's very impressive. It's almost unexplainable how we did it, but you all did it. They say that the word hero is often overused. You may have heard that yourselves. But when I look in this room tonight, the word hero was spot on. The word was used appropriately. Praise God for that. Praise God for all of you and all of your families. Let's bow our heads and I'll lead us in prayer. Lord, thank you so much for the opportunity for this award ceremony tonight. Lord, to carry this on in the middle of a pandemic in a hybrid fashion with family members watching from home. Lord, thank you. You provided that way for us to celebrate all these recipients tonight, Lord. And just not members of the system, but civilians. Lord, thank you so much for that. Lord, as we leave here tonight, I just ask for your hedge of protection around Loudoun County Fire and Rescue. Protect us as we go out and answer calls, rescue fire, our sheriff's office. Just be with us and keep us safe every day as we look to serve you and our community. We are truly blessed as an organization. And as we look forward and going into the rest of this year and into next year, Lord, we look for this pandemic to be fully lifted from us. Lord, we love you. And it's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Before I conclude the ceremony, I just want to take a moment to recognize, as most of you are aware, putting on these type of programs is very difficult under the best of circumstances. The restrictions of COVID and making this happen have required a lot of extra work. So I wanted just to take a moment to especially acknowledge Sherry Phillips, Laura Reinhardt, and Jennifer Bregel for making this and our online program possible this evening. With that, this concludes tonight's ceremony. On behalf of System Chief Keith Johnson and the Recognition and Awards Committee, would like to thank everyone for attending. I wish you a great night and safe travels home. Good night.